Oh, I feel so silly. I forgot to turn on my microphone. I am so glad you pointed that out, Argo. This would have been a very embarrassing stream. But yes, allow me to repeat myself. Um, my name is Amy. I'm the fan game developer for Shenmue Architect slash Freedom Planet Academy. Again, a fan game, not an official work. Um, and I'll be doing weekly stream again. I couldn't do it last week because, well, the internet was down and I was pretty sick. Like, and thankfully today I'm on the tail end of being sick. Like, I just got some vitamin water and such for to help polish that off. So yeah, it feels good to be consistent. So let's do our weekly stream again. And oh, how do I keep that on top? Where are you, desk pens? Yes, I'm using an antique app to keep this up so I can see the stream chat here. All right, so on today's agenda, we do have a lot of things to work on, of course. Yesterday, I did a Discord stream, exclusively on Discord, with some friends here on the Shenmue Architect server. And we did quite a few things, even considering my brain was frazzled. We got the hurt and flash palettes adjusted for enemies so there's less whiteness in them. I came to the conclusion by reading some things online that the pure whites in the flash palettes could potentially cause issues for people with epilepsy. Even if, like, the number of epilepsy sufferers are like in the 1%, that still accounts for thousands to hundreds of thousands of people, so I do take that very seriously. Like, there are some aspects of the gaming medium that make it difficult to mitigate issues for epilepsy sufferers and other issues of that variety. There are still things we can do to lower the risk for people who still want to play video games anyway, just even if they can only do it for half an hour a day. A game that at least tries to be as reasonable as it can about its potential triggers. It can be very helpful. And that's one of my goals with video games is like, I do care a lot about that accessibility. Again, there's only so much we can do about all the different issues with the human body. The human body is not perfect. I don't think there's anybody that's really born with like perfect eyes, perfect hearing, or anything like that. And even if you have perfectly healthy eyes, you might have astigmatism, So, yeah, that is another thing this adjustment would help with. Like, people with astigmatism have issues with like flashing, flickering lights, I think. So, at least my understanding of all these different things are not perfect either. So, but yes, I do try to take these things into account when making games. It's also why the lightning effect for the extreme weather is like on the mild side, because like I didn't want like a full screen white flash, given everything I just said. So it's like a very subtle like transition from like 0% whiteness to like 15 to 30% whiteness, and then it fades back. Sometimes I look at footage of like Doom and remember like, oh god, I can't even I can't play the original game without being able to turn off the full screen flashes when you pick up items. Maybe it was just fine on CRTs, but on these modern displays that hurts. Especially with how big displays are. I feel like the coverage that screens have now also cause issues for people. Because, like, in the past, like, CRT monitors were like these funny little boxes you could look into, but it wouldn't affect the brightness of most of the room for you. It would just be like, here's this little box that's glowing compared to the rest of your field of view. Whereas now, people have like a 4K monitor that could almost completely fill their vision. So just, I feel like now we're at an even greater risk of like cooking our eyeballs with bright effects like that. So much more so than prior generations, at least. But yeah, so I adjusted all that as well as fixed some bugs that would be pretty helpful for the next weekly build. And yes, we do have weekly builds of the game. Like sometimes the content is substantial. Sometimes it's like lots of quality of life fixes. Just whatever I was able to work on for that week, like that's the new build y'all get. And there is a public GitHub repository for all of that if you're interested and don't want to be on the Discord. I understand that even if most of us have Discord accounts anyway, like it's just kind of hard to escape the black hole that Discord has become for the gaming sphere. But even if you have an account, you probably don't want to be in every server for every game and for every personality you want to follow. You probably feel the burden of having too many shiny buttons to click on. So that's another reason I keep all those repositories public, so that people have access to them, regardless of whether or not you're in a super special Discord for that sort of thing. I know that's been like the bane of like some community projects, is like people on the outside complaining, oh, why do I have to join your Discord to download this or that? Which I think is fair. And there are some ways to compromise, at least. Not in all cases. I think, like the Ship of Hurricane, that not so secret like disassembly project of Ocarina of Time, like they're really trying to keep that as below the radar as possible, which is totally fair. Like I don't think the Eye of Nintendo was going to be on that project regardless, but it's pretty prudent of them to like cover their bases. But in a lot of other cases like this one, there's no reason all this can't be public. It's a fan game, and I don't feel the need to like treat it so special as like with a commercial game where you want the entire package to be a surprise. Like because that's what helps it sell. Whereas with a fan game, it's like there's a lot of people who would want to try the cookie dough as you're making it, so to speak, as well as people who just want to follow and see the progress. And that's why I do it. That's why I have such an open development cycle. I know it's not a very common thing to do. Yeah, I just feel like at every point I still want the game to feel like it's real and it's a thing that's being made rather than something that is distant and you can only see like tweet videos of every once in a while to check the pulse. And just because of the nature of it, with my next my future projects, I will be a lot more tight-lipped about certain things, but only so much. There are still some things you can show about the development process that doesn't like spoil the end user experience, I think. Like showing random bits of art being streamed and how that's done without being able to directly see like how all of these cogs are going to be put in the machine and be used in gameplay, for instance. Like you can occasionally see Dusky doing developer streams and other people doing streams exactly like that. More or less just showing you the process of those individual pieces being worked on that wouldn't spoil the overall experience once you got your hands on the thing. Like I was also fortunate to like watch those little bobs and pieces being made for Starbuster as well for years, and then it was like a religious experience to see it all working in a real video game. At that point, once there was like a Sage demo being made. What's wrong with my voice? I'm being a little too vocal fried. Just so yeah, let's let's look at my never-ending to-do list that keeps growing and shrinking. So, yes. I think we'll probably start off with like some stage design stuff because I did fix a lot of bugs that I meant to fix yesterday, so that won't be an issue. But I do have some other bugs to work on, like the hang bars, for instance. Like the moving hang bars have issues with like players being able to clip onto them at higher speeds. Currently, you can only just like jump onto them very lightly. You will just fall through them if your speed is any higher than that. And that's not good. Like, these gimmicks need to work really well. So, oh, that's right. I feel so silly. I'll just plug these in. Can't believe I forgot my earbuds. Yeah. So let's open the game and do like a little bit of stage design so that I could show you like some of the things I was talking about. There. Oh, I thought I was so prepared today. I also forgot to tell everyone on Twitter that yeah, I'm streaming right now. Just fix that real quick. No, I am so sorry. Oh, Firefox. Just let me go to my channel, get my link. Twitter. Look at my previous stream post. Oh, the game got started. Let's make the music real quick. Also, like, post that on the Discord. Oh. You can't steal from yourself. I mean, you can. Hello there. At least change the emotes. Okay, but yeah, the game has been started. Oh, I feel that meme, Argo. Trust nobody, not even yourself. I'm reminded of this one sweater I have, like the tag on the back of it, like the care and instructions tag, like the front of it says, don't trust everything you think. I really could stand to practice that more in my daily life. So yes, even with your own mind and opinions, you still might want to be careful. Let's see, so let's go to the editor now and open up map 3. I did also consider like an alternative route for this stage, but I was thinking, no, maybe I don't have to go that hard. I just need to make a certain part of the layout work better. You don't have to like completely remove all this. I need to figure out how I'm gonna have the stream chat and this open at the same time. So I suppose Still looks aspect ratio correct, so there we go. Just gotta deal with some black bars in the window. Preferable to the pixels getting stretched funny. So yeah, like this is like the start of map 3. Like each level in Freaking Planet Academy is kind of split into 4 to 5 maps. So like the first map is like 25% of the stage, then the second map is like another 25% of the stage, then the third map is probably the rest of the level. And in this case, I'll also be having a 5th map, so the boss arena just kind of has its own map. So like as the player is like dying and getting KO'd by the boss, like they can just almost instantly reload into the boss map. Because like I felt like just having it part of like the normal maps means like there'd be like a longer load time for potato computers. So like each map is basically divided. At least I try to make each map file like less than 512 kilobytes, so that even on a potato computer, it takes a very minimal amount of time for stages to load. Like, even on my 2014 Intel Potato laptop, like, you really can't notice a long delay when loading stages. Like, you see the loading prompt come up, and then you're in the level. So that's the idea. And then with the boss arena being like its own map file, it can just load instantaneously on potatoes, so people can, can just keep trying again and again. And so, yes, and also, one of the ways I make levels, I've realized, is like, I don't tend to have like YouTube essays or anything up while doing that, because it doesn't create the ideal mood board for like for making stages. I've learned like I just tend to fall asleep while making stages while doing that. So what I do is like listen to like music that is up to the pace of the kind of stages I want to make. So what I tend to do is like I'll listen to some Sonic music or something. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to be playing like some Sonic CD remixes while we stream this instead of the game's native music, because like, you know, Dusky's soundtrack for this is just amazing. Oh, that's loud. I mean, like, but obviously it's a short loop of music, so like it would just feel repetitive over the course of like 2 hours. So here we go. Just turn the game down here. Like, you know, this is just an amazing track. Oh, yeah, Palm Tree Panic and one other tracks like that, yes. So as you can hear, like, this track is amazing, but you wouldn't want to hear any particular song over the course of like 2 hours. It would just start to become background noise. Even the best music, you can't really treat that way, so let's go here. Oh, where is, here we go. This is what I've been listening to lately for stage design. Just, I love Sonic CD's music. Like, we all have weird feelings about the levels, I know, but you cannot beat that soundtrack, especially on the Japanese side. Like, I just love it so much. Oops, can't have that on. I'll specifically avoid like any tracks that have any vocals, so that those don't get mixed up with mine. We'll start with this one. I love Tidal Tempest. That is like, you can just feel your eyes glazing, like, oh, that is such a good just, little remix like that. And again, because it's like overclock remixes stuff, like I don't expect Twitch to like copyright flag me to death for it. So that's not the benefit of it. Yeah, and there's Carrie again. She's gonna like be the character that leads you on in the race. Not too prominently though. You're mostly gonna see Lilac, Carol, and Mila. Obviously, given the public response to Carrie, it was kind of mixed overall. Like there are some people who just fell in love with her, like discovering like Mighty and Ray exist for the first time, and others who are just like, no, just probably shouldn't even reiterate the words. Like, so I've decided that the best compromise is to have the character like have a lesser role in the story, but she's still present. That way, she's not like this lost character we never got to see again. Like she's been brought back to life and has her own house, and you can go see her room. Just like she's a character that has a home now here in Avalis, but so I just worried that maybe it would come across as overly indulgent if she had like a very prominent presence in the story. So it's still going to be predominantly about the main three girls: Lilac, Carol, and Mila. Then and Carrie just also like happens to be like a sporting character in the mix. So we'll be seeing her throughout this level. Like she's the one who encouraged them all to like race their way back down the mountain, which then also led to Carol really wanting to win the race. So, yeah, let's make level now. I've almost spent half an hour just talking about the game instead of doing stuff. I'm not like super great at multitasking, but I try. So yeah, let's set the mood here. And I'm going to need some shading tiles for that. I do have some regrets with this particular scenery piece because it looks like, a solid piece of wall that you shouldn't be able to go through. So I've just been like patching over the problem with like scenery, like shading tiles. I will probably address it properly at some point. Hello, Kuya. There's our voice actor for Carrie, right over there. Oh, that's right, this is on the wrong layer already. Need to put it like scenery 4. I'm still glad I redid like the visual component of the layer names. Like internally, like there's still like negative and positive values for the layers, but on top, like you can just see that just much more helpful values for a human player. Like, I'm pretty sure the average person who would play like a level editor game probably wouldn't even be thinking about like layers in terms of negative values and the connotations of what that would mean in terms of like layer depth. It's mostly like game developers who would probably get it but also be confused because like negative and positive can mean different things in every engine. Like, for instance, like in GameMaker, like a positive Y value would push things down. Whereas in Quick Diffusion, a positive Y value pushes things up, I think. It's really funny how that works. And I heard to some degree that might be like OpenGL. Just funny to think about OpenGL's y-axis just has to be different from everything else's. So that could be a funny consequence of this. Could be. Oh, I think I have it on a repeat loop. Don't I? Oh, no, we're good. So let's finish up this little set piece here. Let's close that NPC dialog so we can work around it. Oh, and I should get another shading tile. Put it right here. There we go. Oh. I think that ought to do it. Let's get some the rock ceiling up there. And for anyone who might just be joining the stream now, hearing like, what, you're playing Sonic music while working on a Freedom Planet game? What's wrong with you? Just so like, yeah, how I design levels is like I listen to music that I think accommodates the mood I'm going for, or the pace I'm going for with the stage. So like, I want to make a fast level, I'm going to listen to fast music. And Mega Man's also very good for that. Like, I'm very casual in terms of like being a Mega Man fan, but I've always loved the character designs. Like, it's just some top-notch work on the Capcom people's part. Like, just can't really ask for more iconic like character, enemy, boss designs, and the stories are often funny and cute and charming ways too. So, yeah, and I especially love the music. Like, I think if there's anything to love about Mega Man, like, even if you can't enjoy the games, like, the music is just chef's kiss stuff. So that's also something we can listen to if y'all prefer something different from Sonic. Yeah, I could honestly see her liking chocolate milk, because I feel like with it is safe to give cats like milk as a treat, but obviously only as a treat. Like, they're lactose intolerant once they get to be older, so it's not wrong to make like anthro counterparts of animals like certain foods, at least to a healthy amount. Like, with Bugs Bunny with his carrots being like his whole identity, that was a little somewhat problematic because it gave people the impression like, oh, I could give my rabbit carrots as just like a regular meal instead of just the occasional treat, and it's not great for their tummies, sadly. So I think the occasional chocolate milk for a carry would be good. Even we shouldn't eat it that much, frankly. We drink it that much. I can have something else that the fountain's coming from, so we'll just keep making the walls here. One of the deceptive things about stage design is, like, you think that the layouts take most of the time, but it's honestly just fleshing out things around the layout that eats a lot of time, so you want the layouts to be as fun and engaging as possible. And here's where some of the bugs will probably come in. Yeah. See, I don't have a perfect pulley system, and it's also slower than it should be. Ideally, I'd want this to be really quick, like maybe moving at 6 pixels per frame. So you're just like going through it like this pace. And the system we have in place for this gimmick is not perfect. Like, the nodes that are placed automatically by the pulley wheels don't always align with the reality where the vertical and horizontal pulley wheels are going. So we'll definitely want to address that today. Like, and it's not even consistent because, like, normally, like, this layout does work, but when I loaded the stage in today, it was just like, oh, nope, I think this is where the player should stop. I don't see a pulley there, even though it is there. So, yeah, but we'll just go ahead and make the layout preemptively with the assumption that I can get it to work. I've had worse problems with this fan game that I've gotten to behave. So, and if it doesn't work, we can fill that space in with other things. Like, I mean, it's good to have like a clean layout where everything is like as ideal as you want, but you know, a really good stage designer, I think, could just pull a Bob Ross and be like, just have the happy accidents attitude about picking stages. I'm obviously not there yet. Like, there's so much I have to learn about stage design and putting myself in the correct mindset for it too. It's a never-ending learning process, like, because, you know, with art, like, you're just, you know, fixated on what is appealing for, like, a particular scene you want. And then with video games, it's like, okay, but what is fun to play? And I think play is a much trickier thing to get right, I think. Like, it's not to say I consider, like, the arts trivial in terms of the complexity and the degree of thought that goes into everything regarding the arts. It's just like when trying to figure out, like, not just what looks great, what sounds great, but what feels great to play is, like, that is a much trickier thing to get right, I think. And fun is, it's just, there's no hard science to fun. It's very difficult to get it right. And what's fun to you might not be fun to, like, half of the other half of your audience. Try to make this interesting. See, I'm already playing around the bugs we have by being like, okay, I'm going to introduce the player to the fact that they can hop from one to another. Like, usually when you introduce a gimmick, you want to keep it simple. Like, in a safe environment. That way the player doesn't have the stress of, like, having to navigate around hazards while learning a new gimmick. It can just be like, okay, like, here's a safe, no deadly consequences environment to learn this new technique in. See, like, there's going to be water underneath the player when they fall, so they can just fall into water and try again. Even Mega Man, like, swears by this kind of stage design, like, just gently introducing you to a new mechanic and then throwing you into the gimmick with hazards once they feel like they've given you enough opportunities to learn and observe. You can't really, like, you can't really help the people who are not making observations as they go. But you can give them enough clues that maybe at least one of the ways you try to teach them will sink in. Teaching the player things strictly through stage design is also a tricky dark magic sort of thing. I'm glad you think so, Kia. And since this is like a stage 4 level, we can just assume the player will at least know how to climb back onto a ladder. Out of the water. Like, as you work on stages, you can start to ask more and more of the players' understanding of the game. So that's what we're doing here. Like, if this was like a stage 1 level, I'd be having the ladder all the way down here so nobody could possibly miss the opportunity to get on it. But now that we're almost effectively halfway through the game, I can be like, okay, I trust you to know how to jump out of the water, which Freedom Planet makes very easy. Like, you use either up, down, or holding the jump button to swim out. So, yeah. Okay, I might. Despite the fact this has lyrics in it, I'm still gonna keep it on. Just turn it down a bit. I love this one. I just do. I see everyone else likes it too. Okay. Now I'll just kind of vibe to that track for a few seconds while working on the level.
So you do you, even if it's old school. My kicks grip, enhance the footwork skills. The track jacket adds speed to the windmills. B-boys fully equipped to channel the sound. You'll become I was feeling kinda manic in a palm tree panic, so I changed my sadness to metallic madness. Rolling on a freeway, the Stardust Speedway, whipping like a boss in collision chaos. The title tempest is coastal bound, but I know the fastest thing around. So whip out the wacky workbench, open the ports, and plot a course to the quadrant of course. Now once upon a time not long ago, the Mega CD had all the flow. When Mario was flip-flopping, Sonic Team was hip-hopping, cranking out fly tunes way before iTunes. The audio and the video was smooth. You can do anything with all the groove. Every now and then I'll pull it off the shelf, just to remind me to believe in myself. The whole world right now.
It's great, isn't it? This is the kind of stuff that makes me tap my feet and want to make past levels. We got all the key emotes today, Argo.
Turn it up and get down to the whole world right now. Right now. Let's turn it up and get down. And get down. So let's go to the north, south, east, and west. Let me see you bob your head. Yo, C7, your Indians to Superior X. Turn it up and get down.
Oh. Old dancing dinosaur is going pretty well with it too. Cute baby. Baby dinosaur. That's what I do to keep my rhythm up. That was really good. Now. Oh, this is also great. I just love like composers in the song community. They always like they're very good at topping themselves constantly. They deliver, friends. They do. That's great. Oh, same. Music helps me be productive too. Like, especially with making stages, like, when it comes to drawing art, I will, like, listen to YouTube essays and stuff, but when I'm making levels, like, there's a very specific kind of boot board I have to go for. I think it'd be more visually interesting if we did this, too. Core of milk. What's that? I accidentally misread that as crab milk. Oh, could you imagine all the questions that people would have? Oh yeah, it does help, I think. Like, there's more than one way to go about creating media, but this is my way to do it. Well, if it does exist, God help us all, I'd say. Spider milk technically exists because that's what they make anti-venom with. It's kind of ironic, like the, but I guess, just a common thing in medicine, that which can heal can also kill. As I've heard a certain Leonardo da Vinci say in a fictional version of him in Assassin's Creed. So I always find it interesting that you can use venom to make anti-venom. Oh, what's that pickle? This one I'm less crazy about because I'm not like a heavy metal fan, but it's good sometimes.
Yo, rolling from the east to the west side, to the whole planet right now. Yo, we're getting cosmic. Come on, man. You gotta believe in yourself, man.
Yeah, there's most antivirus solutions I don't trust either. Yeah. Like, it mostly just slows down the user experience for me rather than helps it, I think. Oh yeah, if you know you can trust your software, you can always tell it no, but it always gives you a sting of anxiety when it happens.
Yourself, hey.
Well, I mean, with modern Windows, there's no way to turn off like Windows Defender. It's like, so if you don't have another antivirus, that's what's turned on. So you've basically got to use Linux if you want to roll around with only like an ad blocker as your protection, which does like kill a lot of potential vectors for viruses, sadly. Almost getting too wrapped up in the alternate route instead of making the main route. Like, you always have to worry about the main path first, and then like the supporting paths that go around it. Catch myself doing this a lot. Because, you know, if the main path isn't fun, then, you know, nobody's gonna be interested in exploring the other parts of the stage. That's especially important in Freedom Planet because there's usually just, you know, a main path. It's not like Sonic where there's like a labyrinth of different paths and basically different stages you can more or less explore within the same level. So if you don't like a certain route, you can just take a different one. Like, just depending on what you vibe with. Yeah. Whereas the Freedom Planet, like, I have to lean on the main path being good to start with. So there's definitely a little bit more pressure to get it right, I would say. Oh. I love the soundtrack very predominantly, like, reinforces the believe in yourself part of the original soundtrack. Borrow one of these. Oh, that's cute, Argo. Just quietly patching around limitation. My collision system. Don't mind me. I need to fix that someday. Because if your solution to a problem is more tiles, then there is something very wrong with the collision system. Yeah, basically, like, the game discriminates flat surfaces and sloped surfaces as two different things, which ended up being a horrifying problem for myself to resolve. So, like, the game is very biased towards, like, prioritizing flat surfaces first because of the order of execution for the code. And sometimes, like, the slope and flat surface sensors kind of fight each other a little bit for creating the ground state. So I've created some issues for myself by not basically treating all surfaces as sloped surfaces, like most Sonic fan game engines do. Which gives you a lot more flexibility in how you want to handle collisions too. Like, say with the collision system, like Damascene's original and McDizzy's collision system that I'm going to be using for my next project. Like, you can basically rotate like a flat terrain object, and the player object will be able to go up at like a normal ramp. Like, reading angle data from that is non-existent, but hey, the collision system can deal with it. That's amazing. Interesting consequence of, like, doing stuff right from the start. We'll put items and stuff in here to make it feel all fleshed out later. But for now, we have like a nice path to fall into if the player messes up on this gimmick. And then we'll also need a second easy version of this gimmick in place so that the player has then another opportunity to learn it again. So if like fell off of this and climb their way back up, instead of like trying to do it successfully again, well, they can just take that second path. So basically you kind of give players like 2 or 3 opportunities to learn how to use a gimmick, and then you throw hazards into the mix. Then you can at least trust that, you know, maybe you can start throwing a challenge at them. Oh yeah, this is a great take on Sonic Boom. We'll just vibe to that for a second. Better idea. Oh, I do have some jazzy music too. I just I don't know which part of my library has that offhand. Be a good idea as well. I just love jazz as well. I need to make it more obvious. There's a floating platform here. Oh, okay, my desk fan's just being extra loud. I thought the computer was getting loud. Now we'll just slap some ladders over here. Well, I could see how. Oh yeah, what's the name of this one? Palm Beach Sega Tan. Oh, this is Palm Tree Panic's US version that's been remixed. It's also pretty good. I can trust that players will figure out how to reach that. Just one more. Look at all these dancing babies. Funk fiction. Or funk fiction. I've heard of that before. I think that has to be new to me. That's not centered correctly. I'm not like a huge symmetry nut, but there are times where you still want that. Yes, definitely want it on that layer. Oh, that explains why it's so good. Oh, I did love Grass Garden. That was just one of those, like, hair raising on the back of your neck, like, chilling good. Oh yes, advertising is a tool like anything, like, which means, you know, tools can be used to ill ends as well as good. So yeah, it's definitely good to raise awareness about that. Critical thinking is indeed cool. And that's a good idea, posting some links into the Discord chat. You probably can post links here, but it does probably say that. Just try it that way. Okay, so just save script. So Carrie. Oh, Carrie, you're not supposed to spawn out in the dirt. Collision system's a little funny about flat tiles that are skinny. So okay, there's a script here. This way. I also need to fix the editor side of these gimmicks because I keep getting mixed up about when they're allowed to move or not in editor mode. Yes, no one's immune to propaganda, that's for sure. Now I want to have a little bit of fun with floating platforms. And then, like, once we get up to this area, have like the camera zoom out to 50% while going up. Very effective indeed. It's pretty nice that we could finally say the game's out on consoles. Been wondering about what the true public reception of the game would be, because that's where the audience was to start with. And seems like we got A's and B's on that front. It's really good to see. Well, that's a good earworm for you. Oh yeah, that's right. We can also have bees. You just had to remind me of the bees, Argo. Oh, Oz and bees. Imagine grading your game with a monkey instead of a number. I give this an ah out of 10. 10 monkeys. I guess this is technically jazz being played right now, isn't it? Oh, just making levels, that's what I'm doing. Good to see you, Dash. This is why I love this remix album. It's just like 5-course meal with so much goodness. Just thinking. I'm just like, how could I make this geometrically interesting? I need like a more standout floating platform. That would be hard to notice. Another thing about stage design is you constantly have to account for the player's visibility as you go. Like, what can they see while they're moving? People definitely aren't going to notice that very easily, so we can just place some floating crystals. Help guide them along. Like, that's the thing about yeah, platforms inside the waterfall would also be good. I could probably make the climb more interesting that way. Just lead them on with gems for this first one. Like, every platform I've noticed like has different rules for how you could use like the common pickups, and like Donkey Kong like treats bananas as like a trail for a recommended path you can take, like even showing you when would be a good time to like roll and jump like over pits and things like that. And Mario just kind of treats coins as like kind of like opportunities to lead you to more collectibles. So it's just kind of like, here's a little candy trail to lead you to even more candy, or to encourage you to like use certain gimmicks a certain way. I have a hard time articulating that, but Freedom Planet definitely swears by the Donkey Kong method, where you just kind of treat gems as like a trail for recommended paths, rather than just like, oh, here's a row of coins just floating in the air. You can just jump and pick it up. Like, the pace of the game is so fast that it would be very cumbersome if you were constantly stopping to jump and pick up things. Whereas in Mario, like, it's not a pace breaker. Because, you know, if you see a row of coins, oh, it's an opportunity to jump over, like, what would otherwise be just a flat stretch of terrain. So you always have a reason to push buttons and move along the horizontal and vertical axis. Okay, that should be a lot harder to miss. We can start playing with the waterfall some more. The color similarities of the tiles are going to work against me a little bit, so I need to take that into account. Now that's an interesting track, isn't it? Ooh, okay, that stands out pretty nicely. So we can do that. A little off center. Yeah, and since you mentioned, walking through waterfalls, that does sound like a good idea. We'll just have this little waterfall section of the map involve some of that. Oh, whoops. And to continue the previous part of the stage's usage of the boost strings as the boosters. This album has more jazz than I remember, that's for sure. Here we go. We can have the camera go back to 100% for this section. Because one thing I figured out with The zoom out camera is like when you're going fast while the camera's zoomed out, your perception of speed is like reduced. So like this doesn't feel very fast. Whereas if the camera's at 100%, you can see more. Like the perception of speed changes. It's really hard to describe like how the perception of having more pixels flying past you per frame is quite interesting. That's the thing I noticed, at least. So if y'all feel like, you know, FP2 is maybe a little too slow in some ways, or you just like reduce the camera zoom out, and you will see like you are going very fast. Very fast, in fact. Like the maximum speed cap in that game is like 24 pixels per second per frame, as far as I can tell. Whereas Freedom Planet 1 was 16. So you can go roughly, like maybe 1.25 times faster than an FP1. Roughly. Yeah, that one was like really short but intense, yes. So oh yeah, there's definitely like some generic waiting room music that exists. Like I think elevator for music, for instance, can in fact be pretty good. But most examples you see of it just most people would consider not to have any soul. You know, at least my experience. And if somebody is adventurous enough, we'll just help them have a nice little baby. Oh wait, this is probably a mean placement because the first thing they'll want to do is like fall down the hole here. Then you gotta hunt them down. But maybe that could be part of the challenge, like, oh, you found an extra life, but now you gotta catch it. Catch it like a fish. Just don't know if the ceiling's too low or not. I think it is. It's too cramped. So, adjust it a little bit. Oh, it's good to have you here, Lee. I could see how that could happen later too, because yeah, your vibrations are pretty funny like that. Oh, also, yeah, could make this texture less repetitive. Oh, yes, where was I? We got to go back to the main path. So, a script like this. Oh, I messed it up. Lilac, you little silly. There you go. See if that works. It should. Better idea. Hopefully once there's more tile sets to work with, that will give people like more flexibility in what they want to create with the editor. I feel like at the moment there's still like a lot of limitations in what it allows. I'm trying to fix it, but one thing at a time. I hope that by the time we have like a finished game to talk about, like there will be enough enough content that people feel like they can work with it. This one's just okay. Oh, this one's pretty funny. Just really plays on the fact that some people probably had nightmares about the US of Sonic CD boss music. Yeah, I think have like a little roller coaster section here. I could definitely use a 64 by 64 version of this one for these little cases. Need to make one of those. Here we go. Well, I hope I didn't put too many words in the filter in that case. Well then. I need to make the roller coaster sections visually interesting too, because like people do complain if you give them a long stretch to run through without anything to look at. How many seconds does that constitute? Oh, just 5 seconds. Not too bad. This album has a lot of different things going for it. It's pretty nice. It's definitely the fusion. How to stop the player in a way that will help them not miss what's coming up. I think dirt and colorful platformers is better served like looking like a cake in some ways. Like I remember wanting to eat the dirt in Yoshi's Island too as a kid. Everything looks so tasty. Just wonder if Yoshi eats everything. I don't know what's going on with this one. Ooh, another take on Sonic Boom. Well, I mean, it probably doesn't help that, you know, Sonic CD basically had two versions, so that means, like, two different songs to remix. Oh yeah, that works. Now to bury it into the dirt. That Spacey emote just dances perfectly to this. It's funny. Yeah. I don't want to like completely stop the player yet. Like you can't have too many abrupt stops when you have like a roller coaster section. Sometimes you want to like just be like, ooh, fun. Then you throw them into something that slows them down. Now, how high does that bounce them? Oh, that's an idea. Rail grinding. Yeah, we could probably make the next roller coaster section rail grinding. I just love DA Garden. Oh, you recognized it better than I did. I think it used like a part of DA Garden for the intro. Yeah, this is like Title Tempest Japan version. It is good. Oh, same. Title Tempest was a magical experience for me. Like, the Japanese version of that song just was one of the many things that deeply inspired some of the lore for what will be my future projects as well. Like, Sonic's music really goes places, y'all. Just love it. Yeah, there's definitely tracks to like in both of them. Like the US version of Title Tempest is also pretty good. It's like, I do have a strong preference to the Japanese version, but the US version also has a vibe that I like. Like the way the voices just ooze, like it's the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. They went hard on that one. I didn't think about it from a replay standpoint. Because like when I was going for all the time stones, I did switch to the US version just to hear it, because for years I only ever played the Japanese soundtrack, so I just wanted to hear what the US version sounded like. Ended up liking a few of them. Like I think Teenage Me, when they first heard like the US version of like Palm Tree Panic, I was just like so immediately unimpressed with it, like compared to how hard the Japanese version goes. I just didn't even give the whole US soundtrack a chance. Which was definitely unfair. There's definitely some good tracks in it. I remember being weirded out by the US version of the boss theme. Like, I think my first proper experience with Sonic CD was like the GameCube Gems collection. Like I just rented it at the time, and mostly just so I could try out Sonic CD, and remember being really weirded out by the US boss theme, as well as like Collision Chaos's version overall. Just was not impressed with the game. And I tried the Japanese version later, and yeah, that immediately just became my preference until I finally gave the whole US soundtrack a fair chance later. But initially, like, the Japanese version is what I like the most. It's just so vibrant and colorful. But both tracks have their merits, I think. It's fair to recognize that both are good in different ways. Oh, you can really tell who that is. Let's see how that feels. A little shorter. Well, that's good to hear. Like, the weather has been pretty good lately, even over here. Oh wow, that's a really sense of flying. I'm amazed you can recognize all the individual sections that it's being referenced. Okay, now we need to slow down and do some more things with the road pulleys. Yeah, time travel is a fun thing. And boy, are some of the vistas that you see in like the past and all like really fascinating. I wish the levels could have been longer. That's like my one complaint. Just had more level to explore. Like if you're playing the game on its own terms and going for all the time stones, like you do get to spend quite a bit of time in the levels, but you just want to run through them for fun. Well, you won't get to hear the B section of the level for the level theme before you're already like at the goal ring. Oh, there's an idea. Yeah, they had a lot of ambitions for Sonic 2. It's kind of amazing they still got to release a video game at all with how crazy the development was. So what we got the other end was like as much of the game's ambition as they could give us within the time frame they had. It's still a great game. It's just wild to think of what could have been. Maybe if like SRAM saving was a cheaper option at the time, maybe we could have had like a very fleshed out save menu and things like that. Would have been fun. I don't like this look too homogeneous, so we'll just mix it up. Oh yeah, I'm sure you could look at the cutting room floor for Sonic 2 and almost envision an entirely new game from it. Like, there was so much they wanted to do with it, it's kind of inspiring. At least we got to see the time travel mechanic with Sonic PD, so that's something. I'm guessing there was like some degree of like a crossover between ideas between those two games. I think they may have been developed simultaneously. I'm not really sure. The timeline for Sonic CD and 2 are very fuzzy from my understanding. So, this. Now let's play with the hopefully gimmick some more. See how this feels. Interesting to think about, like two teams of the same property could produce a completely different sequel from each other, isn't it? Yeah, I've got some big bugs to sort out with this one. Vertical scrolling was working, and then I broke it, so I have to fix that. Let me just... There's a workaround for this for now. I do love that they both had a case of convergent evolution. Two completely different developers having a different idea of how to approach the spin dash mechanic. I do find Sonic CD's solution interesting, because it had like two different spin dashes depending on whether you held up or down. One that just lets you run, and another that lets you do it in ball form. So you could choose between control and attack. I thought that was pretty neat. Yeah, I'm guessing maybe the peel out is faster just because you have your full normal horizontal control, whereas with spin dashing it's you're trading some control for speed. But also momentum, because I think the slope factor for rolling is slower than or stronger than slope factor for normal running. So while you're going down a slope, you will go faster, but once you start going up, will start losing momentum. Yeah, it's just interesting the solutions they came up with to reconcile that issue. And I don't know, like, I still love this track. But yeah, I don't know how useful it was in Sonic CD because the levels are so small and cramped. But it's an interesting thing I would have liked to have seen in another Sonic game. I figured that was the advantage. Being able to go up slopes better. Apologize, I haven't been talking as much, just kind of thinking about. Yeah, maybe it's possible we could have gotten, maybe more mechanical consistency between the two games. Well, I do appreciate y'all understanding that. It's hard to be a motor mouth and to do things that require thinking at the same time. Like, at least when I'm drawing art, for the most part, like, you know, you're using like a non-verbal part of your brain to do all the work and just freeing up your head to do talking. Stage design, you really have to think some things through. Zoning in. Funny choice of words given on the Sonic zone talk. I think we can indulge in one more waterfall here. Just, another thing that can help visually guide the player in terms of where they are while jumping. It just looks pretty. Probably also helps it make it look like the waterfall is powering the wheels. Oh yeah, the English language is a ever-evolving, ever-shifting mutant freak, I would say. Large part of that just being our slang, I would say. Oh yeah, that's right, I haven't been putting any bees down. That would keep this section interesting. Can I have some bees? Hopefully we can do this without being too mean. But I've placed them funny, so... Let's see how mean this is. Gotta replace it. Okay, now if this could just, oh, it's not deleting the stop node, that's why we're having issues. Because normally this would be... Wait a minute. Oh no, it can't delete it, so... You know, give player a chance to learn this gimmick in safety. And then I took that safety away from them. After they learn how to get on the carousel first. And as soon as they get on the third rail, it's like, oh, here we go. Here comes the bees. Oh yeah, I need to fix... That's a bug for editor mode at least. It's not a problem for the game. So like, in editor mode, like, when the game is saving, it deletes the bees so that they don't get added to the map file. But I need to like have the bee counter reset to 0 when saving. So just go ahead and put that in the to-do list. So this thing isn't bugged, we can keep it there, it's just I have a small bug and how it's behaving in editor mode. Oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to have like a tiny house in some part of the stage too, like a real tiny one you could run through. And maybe a very angry, annoyed NPC who's just like, what's wrong with you kids? They just saw 4 children run through their house without permission, just one after another. And then here you are as the 5th child, and now they're really upset. Just- some pesky cat took my bacon. Maybe something like that. So... Then we'll put someone's house on this part. Start varying up the terrain. Uh-oh. I'll put some on my end. Now, as is customary with like Freedom Planet, like stage design, I need to like have the rest of the stage be like a roller coaster down. It's typically how Freedom Planet levels go. Is like you don't have too many vertical sections where you're going up. You're mostly like starting from a high point, and going down and down. There are hills and valleys, but ultimately the stage is trending downwards. And we do have a lot of vertical space that we're not using because I started the map like mostly near the top of the stage. In fact, why don't I just like shift all the objects like up another 28 pixels. Wait, no, not the horizontal axis. No, that's no good. Just I'm glad I made that tool like somewhat behave, because that would have been a frustrating edit. Just so. Alright. There we go. Just the whole level placed up another 120 pixels so that we can start trending the stage down and having enough vertical resolution to take advantage of it. In fact, I could also have the trend start here. Yeah, so we could have the rail grounding section like going down, like you're just sliding down on curve, drop, slide, drop, slide. Maybe that would be fun. But we did just have roller coaster section, so we'll try to make it kind of platformy. Can't have too many roller coaster sections one after another. You can only indulge in that so much before the player feels like their inputs just don't matter as much as what's happening on the screen. There we go. Hmm. Okay, that makes sense now. Then... maybe that's too far away. Need to have it start there. Ooh, slight problem. Gonna need to have the top camera boundary do a certain thing by default. Or do I? It's like you can't place anything above the canvas, but there needs to be something at least 64 pixels above the canvas, or somebody could just go over that. That's no good. Funny limitation. So one thing you could do. Well, can't do that either. Well, unfortunately, the player would be able to jump over those too. If I could put anything up there, I could just put a wall. Well, better yet, you could do something even meaner than that. Spikes. So. There. Have fun with that. Yes, we could also put bees up there to be extra mean. Where are my tiles for this sort of thing? Well, that's what you get for exploring where I can't let you go. Oh no. No. About most players will like run well past this without even knowing they're there, hopefully. Oh, I love that stage too. It's beautiful, isn't it? That's a lot of baby dinosaurs. I do love that one. Spacey emotes just always on rhythm. Oh yeah, this is my favorite song of the whole album. I see why. Let's vibe to this one for a second. I think this version of the song made me cry when I first heard it. Especially the name. The name is The Future is Bright, Metallic Madness G-Mix. It's a beautiful take on the original. Yeah, I think that's like one of the best tracks of the whole album. It's beautiful. Oh yeah, the Overclock remix people they have such a fantastic range of musicians. This one's also good. It says it's the elevator pitch version, but it's really good.
I found myself in a hotel. I tried to leave because the carpet closed. I waited for the maid and listened for the doorbell. Once she arrived, I said farewell. I gave her my keys and searched for the stairwell, but I bumped into a dude with a handful of coffee. And yo, I kept on walking and just said, dude, I'm terribly sorry. A lady was in labor, 3 doors down, and right behind me, something snuck out. I've been in the stairs.
Oh, the vocals are great, yes.
Was where the God scored to me. I waited for the beat as the doors opened. Looked inside, no faces of a friend. Unfinished business made me wanna search at the holes, but them doors slammed shut just like another wall. So now I'm trying to find it, mama. I keep on trying to rewind. The moments where the light can't found me yet, and pull me out the dark. You'll leave upon a strange metal lock. Often I slip into a grave. Yeah, you light it up, Stella. Taking giant steps just to have.
See, Argo's a fan too.
And I had to take by the real life where everybody's jumping around in the hopes of the lineup. 1 for the money, and 3 to get ready for the blue rondo. Train call outside, tsunami within. K-pop, stick with 6 to build a condo made of 10. Am I falling my own plans? Or soul in my own pants? It's the fear consequences or the thrill of risking hit and miss to justify this taekwondo. Because I just gotta find my zone. Yo, lest I end up low. Trapped in the pseudo-reality like Cody Yoke, falling for Kiyoshi warriors. Unfortunately, I was much cornier than the man they saw with the cornea. And reveal where the shadows would come from. If I could just chill with 5
bedtime. I'd ask if you could spare me a dime so I could. I like the lies. Mama, I probably end up as a better guy. But who am I to get a God and also life be like? Close to me. Just a shell of the phone with me. Yo, I'm trying to catch my breath and stop to think. The hands just keep on tick, tick, tick. Time. I just if you could spare me a dime so I could. I like the lies. Mama, I probably end up as a better guy. But who am I to get a God and also life should be like? Just got the epiphany. Am I just a shell of the older me? Hey, yo, I'm trying to catch my breath and stop to bedtime. Just keeps on slipping. We're slipping into the future.
Definitely gonna need a Phoenix down in the chat after that one. Now that, y'all, is my definition of chilling while making stages. Oh, yep, and now for... Oh, that's the instrumental version. Let's start from the beginning. We finally hit the beginning of the soundtrack. See, The Cure was more music, Creeper. It's kind of like a coffee drinker. They need more coffee to help with the coffee symptoms. That's an interesting dusky emote. You laugh that I have a picture of my late Ari also licking a door for no apparent reason. Such a silly dog.
this other mountain as you're scouting around. For stragglers still haven't found a way to turn around and pass us sit down today. Hard work it usually pays, but you can't abstain or refrain from enjoying riding the wave. Focusing too much, might miss time changing moments along the way. Cause only bad niggas courage without hesitating or levitating. Sometimes without a mind, and being mesmerized, misafraid by emo opportunities to tune out the noise, the chaos. And whenever boss try to get you to lay out, just go supersonic. Yeah.
A record of how long you think the walls. That should definitely give me like a more honest idea of what it looks and sounds like for me to work on video games, because I'm jamming out to music like this while coding and making levels. Oh, wrong section. Dinosaur's very good at fitting in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to reduce the camera height. Carol would be much more useful for teasing this out. Okay, need to lower it just a little bit more. Let's not be hitting exactly 64 pixels. Well, that's great, isn't it? That's great, I think. See if the camera boundaries work now. Carol, you sneaky little devil. It should be well enough then. Just be sure. For some reason that trick is not working in editor mode, so just be sure the player in editor mode have consistent behavior with just do this. And yeah, that's too mean. Those spacey emotes. Still on time. Oh yeah, Sega's marketing was like very aggressive at the time. It's kind of a shame a lot of that didn't work out. Because wow, to say they went places would be an understatement. Well, I appreciate the link. Oh. Yes, now that we're in this part of the stage, it'd be a good opportunity to like put more of the camping stuff down. Very much. I could imagine that was very purposeful on your part. That's a reference to the next project. Y'all will see eventually. Oh, I knew it. I can imagine. Lighting on cloth or canvas or any type of material like that is very tricky. It pushes the limits of our human understanding of light and color to the limit, I think. It really does. I just realized I could have made those lawn chair tiles into a real functioning chair gimmick. I should put that on the list. Oh wow. Using a real life tin as a reference is definitely a good idea. But there's quite a bit of value in using stock photos too, because that can show you like more potential life conditions as well. Well, this is just where some people are camping. Well, camping near a wasp nest probably isn't a great idea, but... More people are. Tell them something's too dangerous, and they'll go and do it anyway. Yeah, they probably camped there and realized, though, they camped near a wasp nest and just ran off. Wouldn't be unusual. Some people go to a haunted mansion just to scare themselves on purpose and then realize, oh no, it's testing the limits of my emotions is not a great idea. I need to get out of here. Well, that's one way to look at it. Oh yeah, the drums go hard. Oh yeah, and it's hard to find a place to practice the drums too, I think. A lot of neighbors really don't like kids learning how to play drums, unfortunately. I guess that's why a lot of church kids I used to know when I was a teenager had such ample opportunity to practice because they could always just like go to church or stay after church and play on the drum set. This right here. We'll just assume we'll have enough ouchie enemies on the way to justify putting this here. That's one thing this area is devoid of, because I did want this to be like a learning area that's mostly safe. Better idea. Oh, this one's great too. Oh my god, the fish almost cried on the screen. Oh, same. I love Fort Squadron's future. It is just immaculate. And this is a great take on it, too. Well, thank you. Trying to make it fun. That's going to be the key part. Like, every stage you just look at from a distance will probably look fun, but whether or not it's actually fun will always depend on your personal experience. I suppose now this means Carrie is just diving straight first into danger. Oops. That's right, doesn't bamboo love water? Oh yeah, it takes a while to learn how to make fun stages, honestly. I've got quite a few stages in Mario Maker too that I'm just proud that I tried, but not proud of the result. So I do feel that. Oh, I would hope so, Argo. And if the Pretendo network becomes like a big thing, maybe you could still distribute them that way. Ooh, GBA remake sounds good too. I just remembered I had bamboo in the tile set, and now I'm getting bamboo-related ideas and accessories. Yeah, it would be nice if people archive those things. Like, I was shocked to learn, like, some time ago that, the only Sonic fan game from my earlier years that I did finish that was somehow preserved on an archive with, like, every other Game Maker game that was posted to Yo-Yo Games. That just blew me away. They even preserved all, like, the download stats and other metadata too. It's kind of a shock to realize after all those years that the Yo-Yo Games platform sandbox had been there, that that old fan game of mine got downloaded a lot. There's probably some people who remember that and are like, wait, what the heck, you made that? I wouldn't be surprised. It was not great, but it was a finished thing that people could play, so they played it. Now that's funny. It's rare that I can get music to sync up like that. I remember you talking about that TF2 map, Argo. It was pretty fascinating that you got very complex object behavior out of the limited systems that existed. I always find that fascinating. What people can do even when given something that maybe isn't very strictly limited, but has like untapped potential. Like, I just found the very open nature of, like, Little Big Planet so endlessly fascinating. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff, like, even the creators probably didn't imagine that people could come up with. Like, my cousins and I figured out how to make a fully working tank inside of Little Big Planet without even the DLC. The tracks kept breaking on uneven terrain, but it worked. Yeah, I didn't post any of my SRB2 vlogs anywhere either. Like, so the one level I was making, it's not saved anywhere. I'd spent a month on that too, so that kind of hurt. I did back it up, but not to nearly enough devices, so I just I lost it one day. And that's why I back up everything in 3 places at once now. It's just like they say in the IT world, if it isn't in 3 places, it doesn't exist. It's really true. That's one reason I was depressed about losing that SRB2 map, because I did spend a lot of time making it look good, considering, you know, that was before SRB2's 2.0 update. So I felt like I'd made it look good for its time. And yeah, you probably could use Freedom Planet tile sets as textures. I think I haven't even added my pickups and collectibles yet. And it's already taken this much time just to flesh out the beginning of the stage. Yeah, before slopes were a thing. And there was still a lot you could do within that framework, but I'm glad slopes are a thing now, because that allows for so much more in terms of like geometrically interesting layouts.
To the whole world right now. Let's turn it off and get down. Come on, north, south, east, west. Let me see you bob your heads. Yo, Memphis, turn it up and get down. I remember where I come from. The same spot where the snare drum rocks. Feel it in my blood, not ripping silly thugs. Keeping it 100, my stock staying fully plugged.
Yeah, it's a bop, isn't it?
Don't you know time is one big loop? You can run a Mobius strip around 2 troops. You can stay ahead of the curve and still grip roots. So you do you, even if it's old school. My kicks grip enhance the footwork skills. The track jacket adds speed to the windmills. B-boys fully equipped to channel the sound. Yo,
I was feeling kinda manic in a palm tree panic, so I changed my sadness to metallic madness. Rolling on a freeway, the Stardust Speedway, whipping like a boss in collision chaos. The kind of tempest is coastal bound, but I know the fastest thing around. So whip out the wacky workbench, open the porch, and plot a course to the quadrant of course. Now, once upon a time not long ago, the Mega CD had all the flow. When Mario was lip blopping, Sonic Team was hip hopping, cranking out fly tunes way before iTunes. The audio and the video was smooth. You can do anything with all the groove. Every now and then I'll pull it off the shelf just to remind me to believe in myself.
just turn it up and get down. North, south, east, west. Let me see you bob your heads. Yo, PG Valentine. But get down.
You a fool, you aren't gonna see me? Huh, please, nothing to keep me from getting strong in this song. Like a cool night breeze, we not
Yo, Oracle, turn it up and get down. With the signal in the sky, super fly. Don't you down and see I'm bridging the gap like a nasty Nas album. Did you metaphysics become and stand united like the states? Break your walls down, call them Y2J. We don't play, but when we do, we go hard. Berserker barrage, fucking like Lee's bass guitar. 16 bars for superstars or superheroes. Overclock to settle legend status like Rob De Niro. This hip hop heat out of my silver lining playbook. The nice clockwork nights, we taking that walk. Get on the mic, spit it live, leave these Eggman shook. Running lights around the track, call it my sonic arm. Look, I want the whole world dancing. Done that crowd, so turn it up a couple notches, boogie down to the ground. Kicking dope rhymes like judo since the day I was born. Took the level born, the beat, our own star transform. Shout it out. Yeah, yeah, let's turn it up and get down.
North, south, east, west. Let me see you bob your heads.
Turn it up and get down to the whole world right now, right now.
Let's turn it up and get down.
And get down.
So let's take it to north, south, east, and west. Let me see you bob your heads.
Yo, C7,
Dragonese to Superior X. Turn it up and get down.
Look at all the baby bats dancing. Oops. It's too close. Well, that works because, like, Sabrina really does love Donkey Kong. Okay, now we have a perfect way to, like, raise the water height to this level so the player can just fall into it without having to use the water pool objects too much. We can keep up performance this way with the water height adjuster and the specify node. So now we can design this whole area as if water is going to be in it because it can. This is also a good take on it. The vocals are just perfect. Chef's kiss. I think. Seems the army of bats agree. I guess it's basically sung in the spirit of, like, you know, if Mega Man, like, if Eggman was instructing Metal Sonic on what to do. Oh no. Oh, Sonic Mania's take was great too. I was saying. Like, I do wish we got more Sonic CD representation in Mania, but I'll take what they gave us at least. The gimmicks are great too. Oh yeah, I love those moving springs too. They're just so funny. You can't go wrong by putting a dog's face on it. Now, this one's a bit hardcore, but we'll just let it play. Y'all can decide if you like it. That probably wouldn't sound too wrong inside of Doom. Funny mental image. Just gonna have to trust that the systems in place are gonna work, because this poor thing's just gonna keep perpetually dying now. I'm so sorry, Shark Torpedo. Oh, whoops. Grab the shark instead of placing the item. Yeah, now ideally, like, the object will not activate until we get down to this area, so there's plenty of opportunities to set the water height here. Oh, yeah, that's right. I appreciate you mentioning that because yes, I normally only plan to do these streams for like 2 hours, and I always end up going to 3. But as you can see, like making a level takes a lot of time. You could literally have like 20 to 30 hours on a stage layout and still not be done. Still be looking for things to polish. So yeah, I think from the beginning of the stream to now, we've only got about roughly 45% of the layout for this map done. Roughly. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, we could call it the outro. So yeah. Well, that should conclude the stream then. Yeah, making games takes a while. But I hope it was an insightful look into my creative process and how I actually do some things. Because, yeah, this is the kind of music I jam out to while making levels, so I've got the fast mood all over me. I just fall asleep to it, like listening to YouTube essays. Like, it doesn't put me in the mindset to make levels. You can only really do that for art. And when I'm coding, this kind of music helps me too. Well, hopefully it's a fun level to play. I will continue the rest of the stream on Discord, on our Shamu Architect server. So, but, you know, if you prefer not to use Discord, of course, we'll be doing this again, like once a week, 3 p.m. every Tuesday. My schedule's also on my account if you're curious. So, yes, that'll do it for now. I'll see y'all later, and I appreciate y'all for coming. Let's do this again.